Hey guys, Liam here, just with another tiny house update. I know it's been a little while since we gave you guys the scoop on what was happening. I think we may have discussed how we were doing the walls a little while ago, but let's give you guys a little tour around what we're doing here. So, over here, as you guys can see, we have done a lot of this one wall here. We did up to the kitchen space and up to the roof. But what I started doing at the end was that I started doing the rear cupola here, or the kind of viewing area back here, and that's a curved shape. And then I realized I wanted to do the complicated shape where the roof meets with that. So as a byproduct, we ended up finishing the roof after that. But there's still a little bit more work that needs to be done here. And I'm not sure if we discussed this before, but this area down here is going to be a bit of a seating area. So we can store some extra stuff in there, but that won't really get wall material as a result. Up here as well, you can see the roof. So the roof was very interesting because the beams that are going along there are completely covered by spray foam. So there's not a lot of material to directly drill into. What we instead did was we put, I think it's like 1x3 or 1x4 material, and we had a piece that kind of goes along the length of the roof that we screwed into the roof joists, and then these roof panels screw into that, giving me something that's much easier to hit than the little roof joists, which I can't see where they are. The curved section of the roof here meets into the curved section at the back of the house. There's a little bit of a gap there that we'll fill with like drywall putty or something. I haven't exactly figured out the details of that, but we will do it in time. And then this curved section meets the flat section where the slide out rails are. That's a bit complicated. We can get a better view of it if you come around this way. Let's take a look up here. So I kind of had to like cut the material out in such a way to accommodate those joists, and it was a bit of a struggle to get them in there. A lot of the roof panels were pretty difficult because this material we picked is pretty heavy. It was difficult enough doing it on the walls, but on the roof was another level. And also I didn't have Juan to help me out when I was doing it. So I did all of these myself actually. Then these sections here, these little roof panels, I left them with enough play so that I can actually remove them. So they're not actually like drilled into place or anything or screwed in. You can actually kind of push them up and pop them out with a little bit of finagling. And so we're going to use this little kind of attic space up here, which is not what it was intended for, but we can store some longer items. We'll probably store some electrical stuff up there and that sort of thing. Actually, behind all these roof panels as well, this is where a lot of our wiring from the front of the house to the back is going. The walls are very thin on the house. They're only 3 inches in order to maintain road legal width. So as a result, the roof is doing the heavy lifting for front to back of the house electrical service. So there's actually several wires that are hiding back in there. Above these roof panels, there's also quite a bit of room, like at least an inch or two of space up there. There's lots of room for the wiring. Even so, the ceiling feels quite commodious, even though there's actually kind of dead space above it. Let's take a look a bit further up here. I think there's like 7 cells up here that you can remove the panels from. And then up here are some of the more challenging sections. This construction up here is very similar to the back. It has like a 1x4 material kind of going along that's screwed into the roof joists. And then these roof hardboard panels are then screwed into that. But the issue right here was that all of these panels are kind of stiff and heavy, and so it required a lot of pushing to get them into place. And they're actually not that flexible. I flexed them a little bit, but they do not like to flex much at all. In the back, I had more space, so I could kind of especially the piece that goes over those roof joists, I had some room to slide it in. Up here, where I would have slid it in this direction, there's the AC unit and this wall right here that cannot move. So while I was trying to squish it in, it did, very tightly squishing it in, it did crack right there, and I was working on the ladder, and then the thing just slammed on my head and then fell onto here. I didn't tell you that story. We have footage of it. We'll show you that. But right here as well, there's a little mark from where the roof panel landed on the stairs here and cut a big gouge out of it. It's right up here actually. But stuff like this should be fine. We'll just fill it with whatever putty we decide we want to use. And up there, I'm trying to glue stuff into place. That's where it cracked. It fell with so much force because these things are heavy. They're like, I don't know, they're like 30 or 40 pounds, I think. And it dropped like, 7 feet and like slammed and just cracked that. But the reason specifically as well that I wanted to go over those joists is that I want it such that when you view it from a lot of angles that it looks like the roof is continuing above there, whereas it's actually not. It's just continuing in a few inches. I won't have you guys come up the stairs here, but you can kind of see the little attic here area here also has the roof panels. Here I did do it differently though. The issue here in this area is that we wanted to really like maximize the space available up in here. So I can't have that like, inch or two of gap above the roof panels. That's not going to work here. So rather than using just a single middle piece, I think that I put 3 pieces along here, 3 1x4 pieces that are holding it a little bit tighter up to the roof. And you can't really tell because I joined it up with the one up here really tightly, and they have some material kind of interjoining them, so you can't really see. But they're built in a slightly different way, the front and the back. So here we have much more headroom. I have lost the ability to stand up in here. I think I could before the spray foam, but I can't anymore. But what is nice though is that still I can stand up on this step at least, fully straight. So whoever's in here, I can stand up and talk to them pretty comfortably. Something that you guys might see soon, it's a little bit of an interesting thing, is that the slide out is going to have to be electrically interconnected with the rest of the house in order to supply its outlets and various other things that we're going to have. But it also needs to be able to disconnect for when we slide it in. So keep subscribing, keep watching to see what happens here. But what I'm probably going to do is place an electrical outlet here, and we're going to have a plug here that's wired into the systems in here, and then you plug it in when you're going to be using the slide out, and then when you need to slide it in, you'll unplug it. Actually, that reminds me, I forgot to rough in the wiring for that, but I could probably still get it through. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for this update, guys. We're going to keep working on, I think we might pause on the walls and stuff. We have a couple of issues with the slide out. Now that stuff is melting a little bit, we're getting a little bit of water entry and a couple of stability issues with the slide out, which are fixable. So we'll fix them here coming up. And once we have that stuff done, we'll probably begin working on the slide out's interior itself, which, as you can see, is still bare. So we're going to add all the walls in here, the ceiling. We'll have to rough in the electrical probably before we put in the ceiling. But yeah, the slide out is going to start to look a lot more like a living space in a couple months as well. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Remember to like and subscribe to the video, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.